Now, should we head to politics? Because, well, there's two by-elections in Wellingborough and Kingswood this week, coming up on Thursday. Now, some top Conservative MPs have apparently warned that the party has descended into a death spiral.
Well, as reported in The Observer today, Tory MPs have predicted fresh attacks on the Prime Minister over his leadership as he faces accusations of surrendering to Labour without putting up a proper fight.
Well, let's talk to political commentator Jack Rowlett. Morning to you, Jack. Do we believe this or not?
Well, I think we do. Quite frankly, Rishi Sunak's pitch to not just his party, but the country as well, has been things are going to get better. Trust me, things might not be easy right now, but things are going to get better under my leadership. And 8 or 9 months out from the general election, he's running out of time to meet that pledge. It's been a week to forget for him, quite frankly. I mean, it's been a year to forget, really. And I think this coming week is going to be even more difficult for the Prime Minister. We've got those two by-elections that you mentioned in Wellingborough and Kingswood. The Tories are on course to lose both of those by-elections. And we know the economic data coming out this week is probably going to say that the UK has entered a technical recession. Things are so bad for the Conservatives, and maybe changing leader at this point is really the last roll of the dice. So no party, no governing party in the UK has been this far behind in the polls, this close to a general election. And I mean, we're really talking about potentially, depending on how well Reform UK do, potentially we could be looking at the kind of scenario that the Canadian Conservatives saw in the early 1990s, where they went from being the governing party to having just 2 seats in Parliament. Things really couldn't be getting much worse for Rishi Sunak or the Conservatives at this point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the two by-elections at Wellingborough and Kingswood, at the moment they have Tory majorities. But according to The Observer, everybody within the party everybody feels that they'll lose them. And one senior MP has told the newspaper that a number of people have commented that normally you're inundated with messages from the Whip's office requesting and in many cases requiring you to go to each by-election area on at least 3 occasions to help whip up support. In this case, apparently, they haven't been asked.
No, and I think really Rishi Sunak and the close team around him are the only people who think the Conservatives might be able to pull off a shock in the next general election. Most people now within the Tory party have given up. We know that I think it's nearly 50 Tory MPs now are standing down at the next general election. And as you say, these two by-elections, they're seats that the Tories have held previously. One of them, you've got the difficult situation with Peter Bone and the allegations of bullying. But the other one is Chris Skidmore's former seat. You don't have that difficult situation around it. The Tories shouldn't be losing these seats. It's really, it shows how dire the situation is for them. And exactly, it seems like the kind of infrastructure around the Tory party has just given up at this point. Although it's not all bad news, because they have reportedly raised, I think, 16 million in the past few months from rich donors. So it's not like they don't have a kind of war chest to face the election later this year, but perhaps the fact that they're not pushing resources in the direction of defending these seats is a suggestion that they're really saving all their fire for the general election later this year.
Oh, well, we shall see. Jack, thanks very much indeed. Well, let's just tell you, because the by-elections are this Thursday, that the candidates standing for Kingswood are Sam Bromley for the Conservatives, Andrew Brown for the Liberal Democrats, Damien Egan for Labour, Lorraine Francis for the Green Party, Rupert Lowe for Reform UK and Nicholas Wood for UKIP.
And the candidates standing for Wellingborough are Anna Savage, Gunn, Liberal, the Democrat Ben Habib. Have I got that right? No, I'm reading a different list. So it's Ben Habib for Reform UK, Helen Harrison for the Conservatives,
Will Morris.
Will Morris for the Green Party, and Kevin Watts for the Independent. I think I left out Labour. What's the name there? Is it Jen Kitchen?
Jen Kitchen.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
List.
The monitor's very far away.
It's
very
honestly,
hard
it tests your
squinting.
eyes, yeah.